How to optimize your enterprise CRM to drive digital success with Joseph Kahn. The Strategic Marketing Show is brought to you by Insights for Professionals, providing access to the latest industry insights from trusted brands, all in a customized, tailored experience. Find out more over at insightsforprofessionals.com. Hey, it's David. How effective is your enterprise CRM at silently and effectively pulling the levers behind your essential digital activities? Today, we're going to be focusing on how to optimize your enterprise CRM to drive digital success with a two-time Microsoft Pinnacle award-winning leader who speaks about connecting all that matters to your constituents for maximum potential. He's a Harmonic Growth Hacker, and he's the founder of digital marketing agency HumJAM. A warm welcome to the Strategic Marketing Show, Joseph Kahn.
Hey, excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, great to have you on, Joseph. Superb. Yeah, well, you can find Joseph over at humjam.com, of course. So, Joseph, how much impact can the CRM that you use and the overall setup of your CRM have on your digital success?
Literally, I've been implementing CRM for well over 20 years now. Okay. And we were just talking behind the scenes about a trend about CRM coming into play now. But because more than ever, back in the day, we only had maybe one or two channels. What do I mean? The inbound, we had a phone call, we had a billboard and a yellow page ad, right? So the CRM may not have been as important 25 years ago, but today, how many channels do we have?
Yeah, I mean, back then, internet marketing was one channel, wasn't it?
One channel. Yeah, that was just one channel. Now, internet marketing is how many channels, from the SEO to the paid versions to all kinds of things that you can do. So now, imagine back then you just had connect your fax machine to your billboard, to your inbox from your yellow pages. Now you need to track your Facebook engagement, your Twitter engagement, anything that's happening on LinkedIn, anything that's happening if you're doing a call like this or anything where you're going live. And then you have to have, of course, you've heard, squeeze pages or opt-in pages or lead magnet pages where you're collecting people in, because what? Now those people are expecting you to continue the dialogue. Okay, so now your CRM is responsible for that dialogue and connection. So the CRM now is meant to be what I call an omni-channel connector. And if you're looking for that term, that's the big keyword term right now for CRM is omni-channel. What does that mean? That means that if I'm connecting with you as a business, that CRM has to text me, email me, message me on Facebook if I'm connected there, respond to me if I'm actually responding to a tweet or a post. And when I go Google it and I'm looking around and going, is so-and-so for real? You need to show up there also, meaning your knowledge panel needs to be there. Those social medias need to be connecting. But when they do connect those things, if I click on that listing, that needs to track back in the CRM. Meaning that's also, and I know we're going to talk about Salesforce, but that's kind of one of the cat's meow there, is being able to track even all the way down to your search engine listing back to the client who's looking and interested at maybe a product or something that you're working on, even as a sales team. So meaning your sales team is another channel. You know what I'm saying? So you got the sales team, you got your outbound email, you got your outbound, inbound, you got even a television ad. You know what I mean? You're tracking television on the inbound. You got all these kinds of things. And how do we do it in today's day? The only way we connect all that back to the customer through analytics and analysis and figuring out what our strategy is through our CRM. So that's how important that is to answer your question.
Every enterprise is using a CRM to some degree. And most enterprises probably think that they're using CRMs effectively at the moment. But in your experience, where are some of the missed opportunities that enterprise brands are generally not taking advantage of with their CRMs?
The biggest one, and this is the easiest one because, as you said, a lot of people, you can be as easy as a Chrome extension CRM. You can be as easy as a WordPress plugin CRM. If you just Google WordPress plugin, a Chrome extension CRM, any of those types of things. But the key here in CRM, in my opinion, is engagement. And in social media, as you know, the edge rank, the algorithm rewards engagement. It rewards that because that's eyeballs, right? And eyeballs is money, as we know in advertising. So you get rewarded on the engagement. So your CRM, the best thing you can do with these free plugins, or even with Salesforce or with HubSpot, they all include what I call or click tracking or open tracking. So meaning if you send me an email and you get, hey, he just opened your email. Guess what? The quickest, easiest way to get that sale, get that whatever, is the engagement. Okay, that's how the algorithm works in social media. Meaning if I post, hey, do you want this? And somebody says, yeah. And I go there quickly to say, here it comes. It's coming in your inbox. And they say, okay, cool. And if I can keep that going as quickly as possible, Facebook will keep showing that to the feed. That's called edge rank. Okay, so the key is in this is that when anybody responds, you need to know or have a person or you or a robot able to respond to that response. And that's what your CRM will do. Meaning if I send an email outbound through Salesforce, it'll let me know so-and-so opened, so-and-so clicked, so-and-so opened. And then I can set automated activities in Salesforce that if I do click it, to put me on another campaign that'll do a whole nother set of things. Okay,
Understood.
So if you want to automate this, that's the way, is that click tracking is being able to see who's opening, who's interacting, and being able to engage on that as quickly as possible.
So you say that many enterprises are missing out on revenue and profits, and that's the number one reason. It's because they're not connecting every micro activity that their customers are going through.
That's correct. And as quickly as possible.
Quickly as possible, absolutely, yeah. Even though you dislike the microphone, as quickly as possible, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as quickly as possible, because as soon as that happens, as soon as they engage or whatever, they're going to move on. Remember the attention span of the user, right? That's what the CRM is for, is to keep the engagement, keep them hot and ready. That's what we call leads, right? In the CRM, cold, warm, hot. So to keep them hot, you have to engage with them when they're hot, when they're the hottest, they're cold, they're burning. So you engage in an email, you're going to find out that they just clicked on that email or opened that email. Guess when you should send them another email? Right now. Because they just opened the email.
Now, one of the go-to enterprise CRMs is Salesforce. And you've done a lot of work integrating Salesforce with WooCommerce to deliver more customer connection and greater technological engagement. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so one of the clients that we've created this Salesforce engagement was with Bugs Bunny artist ChuckJones.com. And so one of the biggest things is they sell paintings anywhere from the range. We're kind of responsible for the lower selling $200 to $1,000 range using SEO and using the online, but they have a full-time art gallery sales staff that sells art in and upwards of $250,000 per painting. Okay, so we're talking high class, high dollar art. So, but the way is these high dollar artists spend 20, 30 minutes sometimes on our site that we've created, these really highfalutin people, but they don't buy it on our site. They engage with a live salesperson, but that live salesperson wants to know what did my prospect, where did they spend their time? Guess what? We have video of the prospect looking. If my sales guy can watch the video of the person who is their client looking at art, guess what? My salesperson knows what that person is interested in, right? They can see this just connecting those dots, meaning the salesperson in Salesforce who's working with a client can see when their client goes over to a section in our website, okay, and go, what is my client looking at? They can see that right in there. They can see what they clicked on, what they're looking at, and and when they reach out, they go, hey, I can do a good deal on that Daffy Duck portrait you've been looking at. You know what I mean? So the sales connection is where a lot of online marketers and a lot of SEO and a lot of digital marketers like only into that online digital connection. We're interested in the WooCommerce, but the WooCommerce is we're happy to make that sell, but we're also happy to track the Salesforce integration with that tracking on that product that a sales guy can now pick up the phone and we can basically together close that sale.
It's wonderful insight that you can glean through CRMs if you set them up properly. But I guess you can also overstep the line.
Yeah, you can overstep the line, but that was also a key to interrupt you there. But the social media also gets integrated with that because you can see if they're engaging in the social media on certain posts as a salesperson, to then look up the client to see, oh man, they just went to the Chuck Jones gallery and we're looking at some of the products there. That's an instant phone call for that salesperson to reach out to that person. Hey, I noticed you were looking on chuckjones.com. You know what I mean? Or I noticed you bought something, because that's the other thing that we're doing. And not to give away our secrets here, but kind of here's a really killer secret from a sales perspective, is what you call a tripwire product. So we're creating these tripwire products, these $200 Daffy Duck, Looney Tunes kind of things, in order to get interest to the salespeople. So now if somebody buys this $200 Daffy Duck, they get forwarded right to the sales guy who's in charge of the Daffy Duck gallery, because what do we know? We know that that person's interested in Daffy Duck, and then that salesperson is going to reach out and say, hey, noticed you're interested in Daffy Duck. Do you want to see the full catalog? I got some secret Daffy Duck portraits here in the back, that I'm holding back, kind of thing. But the salespeople have their own little secret pad that they sell from. But if I can sell 10 Daffy Duck paintings with SEO at the $200 level, there's a sales guy going to be calling you. You know what I'm saying? That's because we're hooked up with our CRM. It's not just online sales. We also have a deep sales engine person that's looking at that psychology, looking at what they're doing online, looking if they're going to Facebook or going and clicking on the Instagram photo or whatever. The salesperson can see all that. And that's why this is omni-channel connecting.
My initial question or thought that I had about overstepping the line related to a salesperson being very personal with someone and phoning up and demonstrating that I've been following you. But I guess I should probably park that thought, because it's maybe even another conversation to have, because we need to focus in on how you can optimize the use of your CRM at the moment. And obviously, two areas that you've been doing that with a lot is SEO and social. So how can Salesforce specifically really assist with your SEO and your social campaigns?
Well, it kind of, believe it or not, this integration starts at the products, because inside of Salesforce, you have something called products, opportunities, because Salesforce will even manage inventory, and even we have some plugins. The cool thing about Salesforce and other neat tools out there is all of the images are handled by another really cool image level, where you can see the gallery image is really high quality, and that's coming through Salesforce too. So how it helps with SEO is that those images from that plugin are also unique. They're optimized to go down to our level. So we're using Zapier to push this from that plugin through Salesforce into our WooCommerce, but everything is handled. The product descriptions, that type of stuff is all done through the product features inside of Salesforce. So a lot of that SEO stuff. And then from the WooCommerce, we're using another plugin called Rank Math. If anybody is familiar with plugins, that then hones in more descriptive keywords on top of what comes from Salesforce. So Salesforce sends us the data as an import in, and then once we update that data using our plugin, it will then backfill that back to the Salesforce database to update kind of descriptions and different things if we have to add other keywords or stuff. But we do bump up all of the descriptions with some SEO metrics as well. But Salesforce kind of connects the images, connects the titles, the inventory, even if somebody rates the product, gives it a rating or whatever through the Salesforce engine, or because they have a little tool that does ratings, that will go back into schema into our store. So that'll come up. You can see some products that'll have stars in the Google search engine listings that also comes through Salesforce. How they do it is through their schema that comes through when you do the import.
Many departments aren't even actively using CRMs within their organizations, and many companies obviously aren't maximizing the use of their CRMs. And I think it's important to ask the question, if you're actively using data on an ongoing basis, how can you integrate this with your existing CRM and tie things together and then better harness the data that you're gathering in other sectors in your business?
So the easiest way, again, is to use tools like Zapier because there's a lot more data that's coming, because we got the internet data coming in, we got the person talking data, we got connections to social media coming in. So you got a lot of different data coming in just through all the various connections, because Salesforce, just has API and connections all over the place. And then you use a tool like Zapier. Zapier is meant to just push data. So it's to take data from one resource and match it and say, hey, can we all be unified and together and the same, and then push the data so that you are not missing anybody or leaving anybody, kind of in the cracks. Is kind of the main thing. But where all this, the reason why you do this, and in Salesforce, and I use other tools other than Salesforce, is they have analysis tools. Okay. You want to know the analysis tools so you can, what we call, segment with CRM. You want to segment your list into the hottest, warmest, coldest, who's the one who's clicking on all the Facebook ads, who's the one looking at Daffy Duck all day long. You want to be able to segment and who the low-hanging fruit is. You don't want your low-hanging fruit going stale or falling on the ground. So in Salesforce, you can pull up all that analysis data. So once you got all this data coming in, you can, in Salesforce, see all the data and run all kinds of crazy reports. Okay, so there's all different kinds of reports depending on the KPIs, the critical or the key performance indicators that you're after. Meaning how many people coming to your website to how many people are buying a product. If that's a KPI, you could pull that up on your Salesforce, because we have traffic data coming in with a pixel because we track with a pixel. And so we're getting all kinds of data using that pixel tracking that's using the Salesforce pixel, if that makes sense. So with that, we get all kinds of data from the traffic to the views. And so that comes in and will attach to the client. If the client is actually going and viewing or whatever, they'll actually see what they're doing, see where they're going or whatever. And then that can be pulled in reports. How many people are coming? How many people are closing? How many people are looking at clients that are coming to the website and closing? You know what I mean? Like, you can do analysis down on your sales team. So this is for managing multiple channels. Like for a big business that has a sales team that you want to integrate everything together, that's what the CRM is doing. And all the data in Salesforce is in the reports, and you can construct these your own way, meaning you can add your own data. You can do Boolean searches. You can say, add this, filter this. It's, you know what I'm saying? There's all kinds of filtration processes.
So let's move on from what we need to do to improve our CRMs right now to planning for the future. So in your opinion, what's the biggest marketing trend or challenge for marketers over the coming year?
The biggest challenge or trend is finding a good omni-channel connector that will do various everything. There's a lot of stuff coming on, and again, it's going to be a challenge coming into the CRM market. Even companies like Salesforce and HubSpot and different ones are really struggling to try to keep up with everything, because everybody does want to be an omni-channel connector, and they need to fully be connected to your constituents, to the searcher, to the looker, to the product buyer. We want to know everything about them. Okay, in order to meet their needs, we need to know their pain points. We need to know everything. So in order to collect that everything, you've got to have a system to do it. And so that's going to be the biggest challenge. And the biggest challenge is finding one that kind of has that range where people are building. And there's several right now, new ones where if you see an ecosystem building around it, that's what I would be looking for. So if I'm heading towards 2023, 2024, if I'm going to be looking for a CRM, and my agency is now implementing CRMs, we're implementing not just other digital marketing channels such as SEO, but I'm not going to implement SEO unless I know there's a great CRM behind my work. So that's where we draw the line now. So that's going to be a trend, meaning I'm not going to do email automation, SEO work, anything unless I know you have a CRM that's going to track that incoming, that's going to be able to connect the dots. Meaning if I got a searcher coming in, I need to know that they're going to be taken care of, that there's going to be an email nurture campaign coming out, that there's going to be memes that they're going to connect with on social media. And that's what the CRM is designed to do, is to connect all this, is to make sure that the client is being taken care of. And so finding one that has all those things, like even the one that we kind of implement and promote, just added the ability to blog. So not all of them have the abilities to do everything. And that's why you may have to piecemeal it around, meaning you'll have to just pick stuff and then use Zapier to connect it all until there's a one solution that handles it all. I haven't seen one that will handle everything, but they're all trying to be. from Salesforce to HubSpot to Go High Level to all they're trying to be, and they'll eventually will be. Okay, that's the future. So that's the struggle, is to pick the one that you're going to stick with, that's going to be there, and is going to take you to the next level. CRM is going to be the way to get all these channels connected together and be able to make those decisions in order to do it. And if you're not doing it, you're not going to be able to compete.
And you've mentioned omnichannel a lot, so I just thought it was worth just taking a moment, but probably from my perspective, to actually share what I understand and feel is the difference between omnichannel and multi-channel, and I guess you'll probably add your thoughts as well. So omnichannel is every single channel or touch point around the customer, and multi-channel is each touch point that is required in order to drive traffic towards a product or service.
Correct. That is absolutely correct.
Well, there we go. I thought you were going to add something to it or disagree with me in some way, but
you nailed it. But the omni-channel is that one pipe. It's that one experience that connects all the dots together. That's why we call it harmonics. Because if you really want to get that omni-channel just resonating with your client or whatever, then you harmonically tune all those channels together in that one omni experience. It's not multi. Multi is like, I got a whole bunch of things, is a buffet. That's a multi-channel, is a buffet. I'm going to pick this. That's when you hear people arguing with you. I don't like Facebook. I'm not going to participate there. I don't like Twitter. I don't care what you like in an omni-channel. Omni-channel is not about liking the channel. Omni-channel is about providing what the customer likes. Omnichannel is about providing their experience, their connection, their love, their harmony. That's the omnichannel. That's not multi-channel. Those are options. This is not optional.
I've been your host, David Bain. You can find Joseph Kahn over at HumJAM.com. Joseph, thanks so much for being on this strategic marketing show.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on it. It's been a blast.
And thank you for listening. Here at IFP, our goal is simple: to connect you with the most relevant information to help solve your business problems all in one place. InsightsForProfessionals.com.